Hey everybody, welcome! Ron Messi here from Rock and Roll Heaven right outside of Chicago at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles, Illinois. Hangin' and Bangin', our episode number 48 with my brothers Carmine and Vinny. We'll bring them right to the stage because we've got so much going on and I got all dressed up for them. And I don't know, I'm going to bring Carmine on first. The legend, Vanilla Fudge, Jeff Beck, Rod Stewart, great hair. I love the look. I love the look. What made you go? You got a little salt and pepper going from over last week.
Yeah,
you had the Bob Barker look last week.
Last week, Bob Barker. This week, I'm
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew. And next time, I'll have a little more. This is what I wanted anyway. I wanted it kind of looking halfway white.
But you look great. I mean, before with the purple, you look great. So you've got that look.
But dude,
you're one of those guys that no matter.
So hard to do every week. Every 4 weeks, I have to be in the hair salon 4 or 5 hours.
I know. I'm with you.
I had enough.
You realize how much polish this takes every week. I gotta buff it out. It's.
Tell me about it. I mean, hey, I'm getting there. I got my forehead showing for the first time in 40 years.
What do you mean you're getting there? You're like, you're not 21. This is it. What you got there, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm here.
Hey,
I'm here.
Let's bring little brother because I know he's going to throw some shots at me. Let's just get it out of the way. Yeah, he's like, here it comes. Right,
I want 24 of those leopard jackets and some cannolis, please.
And cannoli.
Large and extra large. Thank you.
And some cannolis. Some cannolis.
Cannolis.
Oh, so funny. So
okay,
here.
where'd the jacket come from? Oh my God.
So it's legit. It's a jacket. See, you understand when I go on stage, I do. That's how I dress a little bit because we're talking about 70s, 80s, 60s, and I've got all these kind of looks. And I thought I'd wear the Queen shirt because we've got the Queens of Noise, someone from the Queens of Noise on tonight. And, Katie's definitely.
Uh-oh.
Rock and roll team. I thought it made sense. Don't you think?
It's the jacket. You're also bouncing a little bit. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. But
yeah.
So is it a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, I like it. Katie likes it.
I think it's sideways.
Katie likes it.
Well, that's the bottom. She did like it. We got a great show tonight, guys. I love this thing. There needs to be more females on this show. There really, really needs to be. I mean, there's so many women in rock and roll, and we had Lita on. We've had some on, but not enough. So we got to get going on that because
why is that, Ron? What happened?
Because let me tell you something. Because there's a lot of females in rock and roll. It's not all about Black Sabbath and Vanilla Fudge.
Maybe if you put that jacket on more often, we'll get more female.
I think so. Or yeah. Yes. Well, look, I put the jacket on, and look what we have tonight. We have two fabulous ladies. Yeah. We have Katie Daryl from MTV, from TMZ, and now from Access TV. Let's bring her to our microphone because there's so much to talk about with this. And like I said, she's one of my heroes, too. Hi, Katie. Katie Daryl.
Katie.
I like the jacket, guys. I'm team jacket.
I love her. Katie, thank you for joining us here.
That's because you're the host and she's a host, so you're getting on real good with her.
You gotta have some flair, all right? I mean, in this world of rock and roll, everyone's dressing in black. Let's snazz it up a little bit, all right?
Yeah, Vinny.
But
I got gray. This is a bit of a gray shade.
Okay, you got gray. All right.
I only wear black until they invent a darker color.
Okay. All right, we got the gray and we got the salt and pepper going. Right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. But I gotta say, since you're on fashion, and I love you, Katie, and you are rock and roll to the bone.
Yeah.
But I can't help but notice a Willie Nelson shirt on.
I know, it's so funny. So
nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it. Like, everyone loves Willie and what Willie stands for. But I think it just in the laundry day rotation. I sat down at the computer and I was like, Willie Nelson shirt. First off, where did this come from? I've been wearing wearing it all day and didn't even realize until I sat down and saw my own like reflection on the screen. I was like, oh, I guess this is what I'm going for. It's a bit off brand, but you know.
Yeah.
That's funny. Vinny has one of those shirts.
Yeah.
It's right
Let me
next
tell
to
you-
his collection of albums I have.
See, I love Willie though, but I mean,
Willie's great.
Willie's a rock star, and
I've
any
never
book.
been on the tour bus though. So
Oh,
I haven't gotten
I
to go
haven't
on
even.
the reefer machine.
It's about being
haven't.
able to leave the tour bus. That's the challenge.
without falling down the
Without
stairs.
crawling off the tour bus.
Yeah, exactly.
And Vinny, I can't believe you would have that shirt for the main reason that you have nothing that says "Have a nice day." Nothing. That is
says
not you. Have a Willie
it
nice
says
day.
nice day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
not
I-
you.
I would
Maybe,
ruin
man,
my
look,
reputation.
I have my Punisher
Right.
thing on today. So
Ooh.
you can't see it though.
Look how cool that is.
There you go.
See?
Look at that, huh? Oh.
You see how lucky I am,
everyone's
Katie,
looking
every
styling.
week with
All right,
these
gentlemen,
guys?
we're all looking good. We could go to the clubs if the clubs were only open.
Yeah, if they were.
Hey, Katie,
they're
where are
open.
you at now? Are you in California?
Yeah. I'm out in sunny Los Angeles. Beautiful.
She's near my
Los
old
Angeles.
house. Near my old house.
Yeah, I'm just
Sherman
I'm
Oaks.
over in the valley.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Um,
I lived there for a long time.
I used to
Yeah.
live right off of the Sunset Strip, but turned into a mom, got a kid, needed to get the yard, so had to move over the
There
hill.
you go. Yeah.
I moved even further away. I was in the valley 30 plus years. Now I'm down near Temecula.
Oh wow! Oh, it's beautiful down there, though.
Yeah,
good
it's good.
wineries too.
I was in the
right?
valley
Yes.
40 years in LA, and now I'm in Florida.
Okay, great. So, you guys have lived here, been there, done that. I got to say, my biggest complaint about moving to the valley is I cannot find a good takeout Chinese restaurant to save my life. And I have phoned every neighbor and friend that lives around here, and I'm like, so now that I live here, where do you guys get your Chinese food? And everyone says there isn't a good one here. I don't understand.
But
Why is
where
there
do you
no
But can you get good cannoli down there? Because that's really the key.
Well, even more. What about bagels?
Nah.
There is a good bagel place just up
Manhattan-
the street
Manhattan
from me.
bagel-
Good lox
Manhattan
and
bagel.
everything.
Manhattan Bagel's good, and there's a
What's
place
that Chinese
up very
place that
nice.
used to be in
Chin Chin.
Chin Chin?
Chin Chin, but do they have a
That's
Chin
kinda
Chin in
funny.
the valley? I've always known the Chin Chin over the hill on the
Yeah,
other
it's
side.
in,
it's
Chino.
next to Studio City. It's
Yeah.
next to Jerry's Deli.
All right,
Yes.
all right.
Right here, right now, on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong show.
Sorry, let's talk about rock and roll.
Let's talk about rock and roll, and I got another individual who's going to be phenomenal on that subject. A legend in her own right. Oh my gosh, I can't believe she's here. Let's bring Miss Cherie Currie from the Runaways.
Hey! Oh,
Hi,
you,
Cherie.
you rockin' guys and gals. Well, look, I'm wearing enough black for all of you. and Katie, I was born here in the Valley.
Okay.
There you go.
I've lived in my house now for 23 years. It's in West Hills, and I'm right around the corner from the best Chinese restaurant that delivers.
Whoa, look
Okay,
at this.
See?
perfect. Give me the details, or I'll make sure I contact Ken and get them from him.
Yes, they're amazing, and they've also incorporated a little bit of Japanese too, if you're into that. So it's great.
Good.
I know
See,
that one. Panda Express, right?
No, I don't
like
do
name,
that.
Chin Chin.
Yeah, no,
That's
no,
funny.
no.
So, Cherie, we got to talk, but this is a music show. This is a rock and roll show. We are hanging and banging. That's what this is all about. But before we get there, I just think your art is freaking amazing. The chainsaw chick that you are.
Wow.
I mean, you
Yeah,
guys,
it is amazing.
I'm just telling you guys, chainsawchick.com, you got to see what she does with a chainsaw and a stump of wood is unbelievable. Is
putting
that
it up
something
now.
that you
I didn't know that. Wow.
No, it's
Yeah.
a big deal. Is that
she
something
got really
you
hurt
started?
doing it too. You fell off of a ladder or something, right?
Yeah, scaffold collapsed, unfortunately. But I don't remember it. It knocked me out cold. It did damage my face quite a bit for a good solid year. I was paralyzed on this side. But you know what?
Oh.
I don't remember the accident. So that's a great thing. I finished the piece. So
Wow.
even with a knot this big and all black and blue, I finished. So that's what
Wait a
it's
minute.
all
Wait, did you
about.
say you
It's-
finished a piece?
I finished
a
I
piece.
finished the carving. I finished.
No, no, no.
A piece.
Oh,
No, when I was young, I wanted to finish a piece, but
Wow,
I
look at
didn't
that
get
one.
that chance.
Hello, hello.
look at this. Look this. Can you see
It's
that?
incredible stuff.
What's that?
So, but Cherie, is
It's on
that
her
something? I
website.
mean,
Look
Oh,
at
he's
Yeah.
got it up.
Look at that.
That's
that's incredible.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
my 8-foot praying woman that I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I've been doing
But
this
how
a
did you-
long time.
Yeah, I
Is
bet.
it something you
Back up.
started
I've got a
with?
question. Question in the house. When you fell, were you holding the chainsaw?
Yes, I
That
was.
That's what I was thinking.
I
Wow.
was, and I actually, I did. I imagine what I did. My assistant claims that this is what happened, but I was up on a scaffold like that, and he was supposed to be helping me, but the clients called him away, and I caught an edge. It's what they call catching a piece of wood that will yank you forward, and it yanked me forward right off the wood, and I flipped over backwards.
Wow.
Broke my tailbone on the back and then flipped over onto my face holding that chainsaw. So I did, yeah. So it's like this and this got impacted, but I was out cold and they took the chainsaw from me, but I never cut myself. I can't even imagine what was going through my mind.
You decapitated yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why I locked my arms when I was falling and kept it away.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I
Instinct.
know is that whatever I did, I saved myself. That's for sure.
How'd you get into that?
It was a fluke. I was just going to the beach one day. I was going over Cane Dune Road, and I happened to see a couple of guys chainsaw carving at the side of the road at what was called the Malibu Mountain Gallery. And I just could not get it out of my head. Every time I woke up in the morning, you got to listen to that voice, right? Right, Katie, Vinny,
right.
Carmine,
No,
Ron?
Yeah.
We have to listen to that voice. And that voice would not leave me alone. I finally went back and I walked into this beautiful gallery and this voice said, "You can do this." And they brought me on board and I immediately started winning, ribbons and competing. And I was competing in 2005 and I placed in all the major competitions and I've been doing it ever since. Yeah.
Had you done sculpting prior? Like, so had you worked in 3-dimensional?
No, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be too. Yeah.
How do you do it? I mean, who'd you like those? You saw horses, you saw people. What do? You draw them on a piece of paper first?
No.
It's just
No.
more that 3-dimensional space, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
the drawings don't do a whole lot, but
That's cool.
it's true. You kind of remove everything that doesn't look like what you're carving. I mean, you do have, it takes some time, but I've taught people to carve as long as you can see that that whatever it is in that log, you can do it.
So, for instance, you take the horse one there, right? Mm-hmm. The end horse, was that like a big fat log that you cut away?
Yeah, it was a big log that I cut in half, and then each side was the ends, and I just carved the heads from there.
Wow.
Well,
So I would love for
I
you
got some
to
trees down here in the cut.
I bet. Well, is it something that you can incorporate in a musical, like was it the Lumberjack song by Jesse James Dupree on Jackal? He comes every time he does a show by us. He says on his rider, I got to give him a wooden bar stool, and he all of a sudden out of a clear blue, he pulls out a chainsaw right in the middle of a song, does a Lumberjack song, and cuts up the wooden bar stool right on stage. How about if you
Sure,
do
you
your
got to work this into your show, right? You got
You
the
know
new
what?
album you got to talk about, and then all of a sudden you
Right.
just got to cut it with the chainsaw.
right during Cherry Bomb or something? Just
Well, I did a record with Bree Darling from Fanny,
Yes.
and we were going to incorporate that into the beginning of the show where we had a big box with lights behind it, and I'm really good at writing names in cursive, and I was just going to do Cherie and Brie kind of thing. But you know what? You're really not supposed to use a gas saw indoors. So
Yeah,
that
right.
became an issue. Yeah.
It's rock
Well,
and
that
roll,
one for
man.
him.
You
It
don't
is
have to
rock
do
and roll.
this.
90% isn't supposed to be done indoors what rock and
Yeah,
roll
right?
does.
So true. Yeah.
Everybody's got masks now, so
Yeah,
all that shit.
that's right.
I think cutting up a bar stool is a little different than what Cherie does.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
No,
nah.
it's amazing stuff. It's just incredible, and I can't wait. I mean, is it all like contract stuff, or can we go to your website and actually buy something?
Now I don't have anything. I take orders only now. It's
All right,
very
we
rare
calling
that
you.
I have time to
And
actually
how's
just.
business? How's business
Oddly,
been?
I
in the-
only give orders. No, I'm just
Hey,
Ah,
Oh, behave.
whoa, that was good. That was good.
Katie, I want to touch on something with you, Katie, because I sincerely, truly am a huge fan, and I can tell you how that actually happened because when from 2013 you started with World's Greatest Tribute Bands. My theaters are like 900 seats, and we have all these guys. We have the legends of rock and roll, but we also have some of the greatest tribute bands in the country. And I've learned to really, really respect the tribute bands. Look at that. Yes. Really learn to respect them because the real performers, they have some poetic or musical license. They can be off key a little bit. They can forget a word, and the audience is fine. The tribute band, if you miss one syllable off one note, they're pointing like you suck. So I really have a lot of appreciation for them. What made you put a whole show, as you're a producer as well, around tribute bands and give them that respect?
Yeah, so we started the World's Greatest Tribute Bands. It was a national televised broadcast live from the Whiskey A Go-Go. It was broadcast on Access TV, and each week it was a different band, and it was live from the Whiskey, so cool audience that was just ready to jam out. And I hosted the show and I produced the show. So each week I selected which band was going to be featured. And these were all national touring acts. The idea actually came from Mark Cuban himself. So Mark Cuban is who created Access TV. It used to be called HDNet. So Mark created HDNet. There's the Beach Boys one. They were so good and dreamy.
Yeah.
Okay, so these guys were so cute. We had a makeup artist, getting everyone ready for the TV broadcast. And so, these guys were all 23, 24, 26 max. They were darling, had voices of angels. And they sat down in the makeup chair, and they were like, oh, what's this? What's this? And then they got up, and I was talking to one of the guys, and he's like, it just felt like little kitten paws were patting my face back then. And I was like, okay, you guys are so cute. Get up there and rock out at the Whiskey A Go-Go. So Mark Cuban, who owned the TV network, said, I want you to create a show all around tribute bands. And that was it. That was the only guidance that he gave me was those two sentences. And so I rolled up my sleeves, figured out what tribute bands were, because I was naive in the beginning. I thought a tribute band was a cover band, and they're not. Obviously, these are people who do their entire show.
I had a tribute band.
Yeah, you are Jimi Hendrix, you are the Allman Brothers, you are Elton John, you are Kenny Metcalf, and it's different than an impersonator as well, because impersonators don't necessarily have the talent to go along with it. They just maybe stand and wave and greet people, but these guys, bring in the bands and have the gear.
Sure.
And it was such a fabulous show. I think we had about 80 episodes over a 3-year period.
And that's how I first found out about you, because that's what I was saying. We had probably, I don't know, maybe a dozen of the bands that that were on your show that did the tour, and we had about, like I said, it was Mr. Speed that did the Kiss one.
Yeah.
Remember them? How good they were?
Oh, they were so good. So, and their costumes were top notch, and everything about them was perfect.
That's it. They put so much behind it, and it's so much work. But they all said the same thing. Katie was awesome. And that's how we first learned about you.
Yeah, all these guys are so talented, like you said. People are watching and waiting for them to mess up. And these guys, they are so well rehearsed, and in many cases they are better than the real thing, because they do practice so much, and they have so many gigs, whereas a lot of other bands, they go on tour and they practice just for that tour, but then all of a sudden it's an 18-month hiatus, and then they're like, got to get out there and do another show again. And some of them just don't care anymore. And some of the bands, the classic rock bands, are almost tribute bands themselves, because the members have, rotated in and out.
Some of them are. Some of them are completely tribute bands.
Yeah,
look
so
at
all
Foreigner.
these musicians, I really respect, and I just love them. And I miss doing that show on Access TV so much.
I did my own tribute band called the Rod Experience.
Oh,
Rod
nice.
Stewart, but I had members of the Rod Stewart band in it. I had a guy that looked like Rod. So, and we played the 1979 show, and we played Ron's place, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so great.
Fabulous.
I didn't know Rod was 300 pounds, by Carmine.
You're doing a tribute next week, a couple of weeks, I saw.
I'm playing the music of Black Sabbath that I
that's
so.
Yeah, I don't know if I would
Fun.
consider that a tribute. I mean,
Not a tribute. I'm the only
you're
original
the
guy
deal.
in that band that's still out doing something. You
Yeah.
know, everybody's
You're
retired.
doing a lot.
Ozzy's not. You
You're
haven't
do-
heard from Ozzy. You know, so keep the
Yeah.
music. And it's a lot of
Please
fun.
keep the music alive. Absolutely. Cherie, something I wanted to know for a long time. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that the Runaways, you were so young, 15, 16, I mean, 17. And the stuff that you were singing about, between the sex, drugs, and major rock and roll that you were singing about, I mean, was that stuff at 15 or so, could you say that you actually knew what you were singing about, or was that thrust upon you a little bit? Was that the life?
Hell yes. We back in the 70s. No, it was a different time. It was a different age, right?
That's right.
I mean, the younger, and that's the thing, is the young ones, like myself and the rest of the girls. I mean, we were chasing after the older guys. That was just what was happening at that time.
Mm-hmm.
The young kids, 60 and 70, were just too young for us. So, there really wasn't age back then. We didn't think about age. So, which is now just a major
I mean,
deal.
I met you guys back then.
Really?
Yeah,
You
I
that?
remember.
I remember, and I
Was he one of the older guys you were chasing?
Yeah, was he one of the
Yeah.
creeps?
Oh, we all
The
no.
Well, he is now.
I never done any of those. I gotta say, I became good
Like a
friends
fine
with
wine,
Lita.
your creepiness gets better with age.
More like a fine cheese.
I became really close with Lita. She was like my little sister.
Yep.
And
No,
I remember
you were
we
so
saw you a lot,
respectful.
Yeah.
You were so respectful. I mean, honest to God. I mean, it kind of made me a little paranoid. I thought, what am I, that ugly or what? I was like, what's
wrong with me?
Yeah, what's wrong? What doesn't he see in me? Yeah.
He didn't know you had a chainsaw.
That's right. That would have
Oh,
took
that
that.
came-
Believe me.
That came a lot later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, we did a gig together, the Runaways, and I was playing with Rick Derringer at the Starwood. Remember
Yes.
the Starwood?
That's right. I love
We-
the Starwood.
We went and opened for Aerosmith, and then after we went on, we'd gotten the crew and the band and drove up to the Starwood, and then set us up. Went on like at 12 o'clock or something. It was killer. What a great show.
Yeah.
It's packed.
You guys talk about respectful and stuff, and I'm gonna, just take a second for a moment here, because we're always talking about rock and rollers, and some of them got, we had Nugent on, everybody on, and they've got their other side, Ozzy, But you talk about Carmine, you talk about Vinny, two of the most stand-up guys in rock and roll, and it's really nice to hear that even much earlier, that you're respectful, and maybe not the reputation you wanted back then, but it's nice to have that now. So hats off to you two brothers, really.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, wait. Did you read Carmine's book?
Well, you know what? I think we're not. Some of it, it's
My
Some
book
of the
is
stories don't
my book is
sell.
called "Stick It: My Life of Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll."
Yeah.
but that was
Some crazy
respectful.
stuff in there.
But it's
There's-
respectful with the tuna fish and whatever. That was
But
it's
it's not.
respectful.
The much of.
Sex is capitalized, and you read the book and then say that.
Yeah.
Well,
I was the good brother. I'm the
that's
good
what I
brother.
meant. Which is
Good
weird.
brother.
The guy from Black Sabbath is the good one versus the Vanilla Fudge
He
dude.
was the good one. I was the wild one.
He's the bad one.
I was the
Really?
wild one. I mean, come on, it was crazy. Yeah.
Well, Katie, let me ask you. I don't know if you ever did this in the 80-some episodes that you did. If you did dress up and appear as one of those tributes, who was it? And if you didn't, who would you, if you? And let's take the Runaways out of that running right now.
Okay.
Like what band? What would you be a tribute artist about?
Oh God. Okay, so this is really hard because I believe that if you're going to do a tribute, you need to try and sound it and look like them, right? So I'm not going to look like, but you kind of have to go to like who do you sing at karaoke, right? Like what's your
Right.
range? So unfortunately, I'm kind of like a John Fogerty CCR, but I'm not sure
I
I
don't
really
think
look
so.
like Fogerty. Hopefully not.
Well, maybe on a Sunday morning, maybe you should do it or something. Got that Fogarty look to you.
Yeah. But you know, and I could do some of those David Lee Roth like it was pretty good. So
Nice.
That was good.
That was far from Fogarty right there. That's Fogarty getting his toe stepped on.
But then, you know, if it came down to, you know, wardrobe that I'm jealous of, I mean, who doesn't want to put on a top hat and twirl and do a little Stevie Nicks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't. I
think you make a great Stevie Nicks. I really do.
Yeah, you would make a great Stevie. Yeah, you would.
Thank you. I've been told that before, too, but I don't go there.
Was there one, Katie? Was there one band? Now you obviously were you part of the application process or the audition process?
Yeah. No, every band went through me. Yeah.
Even the ones that didn't make it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, send your complaints.
Stop it,
this way.
Carmine. I just said how respectful you were 3 seconds
Look
ago.
what she said. Everyone went through
It's
me.
not her fault.
Hey,
That's
Katie,
your
what do
age.
you mean? What do you mean by that? Every band went.
Well, so any of the bands that went, so we did, you know, 80 bands, and so that was like over 7 or 8 seasons, and all the bands had to submit like an application process to be on the show. So, you know, they had to submit their demo reel, their photos, audio samples, and all that stuff, and all of that curated through me.
Did you have repeat bands? Like
There were a couple. I think we repeated, let's see. Oh, that's a great question. So we brought back, we had the Beatles 3 times, 2 different Beatles bands. One of them came back twice, and one was on once. The Fab Four came on twice, and one time they did the entire Sgt. Pepper album start to
I
finish.
love that band. I
to
see
celebrate
them
the
at the
anniversary
casino.
of that.
Yep.
Yeah, they're
Let's
great.
see. I had our Elton John, Kenny Metcalf. He was on once, but then he made guest appearances. Like he came on with one of the Who tribute band, and they did like the Pinball Wizard and all that. So he made multiple appearances. I think we did Zeppelin twice because, again, I think we had them do one of the Zeppelin albums start to finish. But so out of like 80 episodes, I'd say there was maybe like 4 that weren't totally fresh.
Okay. I mean, it's a great show. I mean, is there any chance of it coming back?
You know, unfortunately, the problem is it was a quote-unquote cheap show to do, considering it was live, but it was expensive because, you know, as you guys know, with music rights and
that's the tough
getting
part.
that all taken care of.
Forget it.
It was hard because it was expensive because we only did it one night. It was a live show, and then we didn't repeat it because having to pay for the sync rights to have multiple airings is where the money really kicked in. So we were able to do the one live broadcast, and right now the network Access TV isn't really focused on live programming. They're very much focused on music right now, and so that's why I now have a new show on the network called The Top 10 Revealed, and that you can catch on multiple repeats. I swear, if you turn on Access TV, you just see me on a loop, it feels like sometimes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got...
What's revealed?
Oh, so the top 10 revealed. Thank you for asking. So season 4 premieres this Sunday, May the 9th at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And every week, it's kind of a good old-fashioned countdown show, right? So one week it might be the top 10 70s breakup songs, top 10 80s hard rock hits, top 10 songs with rain in the title. So this Sunday will be top 10 smoking hot songs. Think of like Hot for Teacher, It's Hot
Smoke
in
on
Here.
the water.
Smoking in the boys' room.
Hot legs.
Songs.
Hot
and
legs.
so we count down this list of 10 hot songs, but you don't just see the songs. You have guest stars commenting. So you'll hear Dee Snider, Sebastian Bach, Margaret Cho, Matt Sorum, Paul Stanley. So we have
Vinny
a variety of 25
Appice.
different
Vinny
guests.
Appice.
Oh, he left.
He left.
Yeah, Cherie was going to come on, but I think she was away in Big Bear when we were shooting. So we hope to have her come in July when we actually do the next shoot. So it's a half-hour show, and you just get to count down this list of great rock and roll songs and get commentary from cool rockers and music experts.
Great show. I mean, it's nice because it's not strictly this is the top 10 of the Billboard charts. It's the theme itself is fun. You know, finding out what theme it is.
Like
right?
This season, not only we have the season premiere is hot songs, but we also have top 10 like end of the world songs. So you could get to like It's the End of the World as I Know It by REM, but also Bad Moon Rising by CCR.
Great one.
Or top 10 social distance tunes. Don't stand so close to me. You know,
Oh,
things
there
that
you
are
go.
like
See?
staying
It's
alive and I will survive. Things that kind of got us through quarantine. When you're like,
That's
this
funny.
would be a funny playlist. And
Top
so we
10,
put together these.
top 10 car songs, you know?
Yes, we did. Last season we did top 10 songs about your ride.
Yeah, that's me.
See?
I like that
It's
one.
a great concept, and you know what? We've got some top 10 moments on this show. But before we touch on that and our episode 100, we're going to go to a commercial about next week's super duper show we got. I'm excited about this, like I am every week. What's happening next week on Artists on Lockdown, Hangin' Bangin'?
Hey, it's Carmine Appice here for Hangin' Bangin'. I got a new hairstyle. What do you think? New color. I got really tired of dyeing my hair, so this is the real me. I've got great reaction on Facebook. But anyway, May 13th, Hangin' Bangin'. We got Matt Pinfield from MTV and radio personalities, also on Paradise City right now on Netflix. And we also have Todd Suckerman, a great drummer, really good drummer. Plays with sticks. Love Todd's playing. He's a good guy. So we're gonna have some fun with him. So remember, it's on Hangin' and Bangin'. It's on Facebook Live, Artists on Lockdown. Hangin' and Bangin' with Carmine and Vinny Appice or Appice. I'm tired of correcting everybody. But I'm Appice, Vinny's Appice. Okay, so we'll see you there. We're gonna have some fun. May 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you there. On YouTube as well. Just look up Carmine and Vinny Appice. Vinny Appice. No, Carmine Appice. Anyway, you know what I mean. I'll see you there.
Make sure everybody checks out our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, smash it, like it. Everybody catch our podcast on Spotify. And we are back now with Miss Katie Daryl and Cherie Currie from the Runaways. Cherie, let me ask you something. Oh, I love it. So I know we touched on the chainsaw chick thing, and I do want to move on, but I am so enamored with this part of you that not as many people know that they should. That's for sure. But I did see one comment that was interesting to me, and you made it. You said that that the chainsaw carving was what you were meant to do, in your life. It was what you were meant to do. And obviously, because you're so renowned in the music world, how do you feel that overtook the music part of your life?
Oh, you mean the carving that overtook my music? It never really did. It was just something but when you can't stop thinking about it, very much like, anybody that's been in music as long as everyone on this, show has been,
sure.
That's something that you never, ever can walk away from. It's just something that's in your blood. And I guess that the carving I found out was also something I couldn't let go of. So I just have to do it. I'll do it the rest of my life like I'll do music the rest of my life.
What are you doing these days musically? I know you had a couple albums come out in 2019. The one with Brie was fabulous. I actually loved a couple of cuts on there in particular. But are you doing some live outside of COVID, of course? But I mean, are you going back out?
Well, you were talking about Matt Sorum, the record that he produced for me 10 years ago. Blackheart finally put it out right at lockdown.
Wow.
It came out in a pressing for Record Store Day in 2019, and then they decided to release it, no physical copies, but my God, it did so well. It's such a killer album, and it's got, the guys from Guns N' Roses, Slash and Duff. It's got Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. It's got Brody Dahl and the Veronicas, and even Juliette Lewis came. And it's the album I always wanted to make after the Runaways. And unfortunately, it comes out right when the pandemic hits, and there was nothing I could do about it. It did very well though, but
is that Boulevards of Splendor?
That's right. Yeah, Boulevards of Splendor. I mean, Vinny, Carmine, you would love this record. I'm serious. I mean, I'm so proud of it. It's so rock and roll. It kicks ass. And so
But I
like
love the fiddle on there. I love you went with a fiddler on this one.
Yeah, and you know what? On a couple of songs, gosh darn it! And again, my 61-year-old mind cannot remember the name of this guy that's been a friend of mine for forever.
Join the club.
I
Yeah,
know
right.
it's
You did tons of press for it too. I saw you everywhere. I mean, obviously, I interviewed you for Access TV's At Home and Social, but like you were hustling. So like it did great, but like you did great, like really busting your butt out there. I saw you like on every morning show.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to tour on that record. It deserves it, you know. And I mean, I loved working with Brie. It was fun, but you know, that's really rock and roll is something that again, in my blood, got to do it. So I'll tour on this. Hopefully, I'll tour on this record once everything lightens up.
Well, I hope you'll do "Gimme Shelter" from Motivator, because I'll tell you what, that is an amazing. If you guys haven't heard her do "Gimme Shelter" with the rape and murder
Is there a
thing,
video? Do you have any videos of it?
that's it, man. I mean, it's incredible version.
Is there videos
Thank
of it?
you.
Can we see it on YouTube or anything?
Actually, the Motivator is the one that is one of my favorites. I think that Dave
Yep.
Darling did an amazing job in the arrangement of that song. And you know, there's a few songs on there that I'm really proud of.
All right, since we brought up Motivator, I do have a quick question on this though. So early on your other album, you're talking about some of the Billy Corgan and some of those guys, heavy hitters that were part of that project. The Motivator was interesting. Obviously, the great actor, your ex-husband Robert, was on there, Robert Hayes. But you had Susan Olsen,
Yes.
Cindy Brady on that. Now what? Maybe she's not as much of a rocker as I thought maybe Peter Brady was with his voice changing.
Greg was the rocker. I mean, he had that attic going and
It's
everything.
Greg. It's
Or
Greg, not Peter.
Time to
Yeah.
change. Was it?
Greg.
Was it? I thought it was Peter. Anyway, the point
Greg's
is,
the older one.
what did Susan do on that?
Susan. Now, Susan is like my sister, and I'm not kidding. I mean, she's been a part of this family for a long time, and she's a bass player. I mean, she loves music, and she came and sang a bunch of background vocals with Bob and as well, and a bunch of other friends, and my sister Sandra. It was great for us to bring in our family and friends to sing on a couple of tracks. But Susan's always there for me whenever I need a vocal or two. She's great.
God,
I met her at one of the shows too, at one of the horror shows.
Vinny,
Yeah.
remember when we did our Sinister album and we brought our older brother Frank and our sister in to do backgrounds at your house?
And we had to pay him.
That sucks.
And Ron,
Family, man.
I'm so
Yes, dear.
sorry that I'm the only one that is this way. I should have turned my phone that way. And
You look fabulous,
I'm
my
so
dear.
sorry. I'm
You
the
look
odd man out.
gorgeous.
This way or
Good.
that way.
You
Yeah, it don't
look
matter.
good anyway. You're beautiful.
Yeah, how's that? We're all that way too.
There we go.
Oh my God, this is what you guys look like when you're sleeping, right? I don't want to see this.
Can
don't
I
want to
do
see
that?
this.
I don't know about you guys. I'm getting hungry for Chinese food.
Oh man, go to Chin Chin's.
That's too far from where I live.
Yeah, way far.
Katie, I just, and again, I got to go back a little bit again to the tributes, because I mean, again, it's you're looking at it. We talk about the foreigners of the world, and that people are like just passing away or they're retiring, and I mean, within 10 years, besides the Peace Brothers and and the Runaways, who's going to be around really?
Are you trying
Keith
to cheer
Richards.
us up?
Keith Richards will always be
Keith
around.
Richards will be there. Actually, he passed away about 10 years ago. Nobody told him, but he's already started the process. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But when you're doing these the tributes, we do them here, and you said that you part of obviously the selection process. Some of them we talked about how amazing they are, right?
Oh, sure.
But those other ones, some of them are so bad. Is there a like for me? I love Elvis. I love the good Elvis tributes, but sometimes these Elvis guys look so freaking scary.
So that's that's a really good point. So obviously, since I saw all the applications that came through and went through them, I literally did see the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean,
so give me an ugly. Give me an ugly.
Oh, I'm not gonna throw someone under the bus, but I will.
No
say,
name, but
when it came to Elvis, that was one in particular that I was like, you have to hit that really perfect so it doesn't feel hokey. And so the gentleman that I found was Justin Shandor, and he had actually won the Graceland Elvis competition the year prior, and had their gold star approval. And that was really important to me because I wanted to make sure it was someone that was legit good, not hokey. But boy, I saw some really bad ones. There was a Motley Crue band, and I really can't even remember their name, that not only did they look and sound terrible, but they were really rude. And every season when I was like, hey, thanks for your application, you didn't make it this round, they were just nasty. But then they'd have the nerve to reapply the next season. I was like, yo, you were so rude to me. I'm still the same person. I'm not letting you in now, even if you got better. Like, you're dicks.
Hey, Katie, that was me.
That was him.
I believe it.
When it comes to dicks, there's no bigger one than that man right there.
I figured we'll do it again. Maybe we'll get on.
Yes, that Black Sabbath tribute band that keeps coming back like a bad dream. And that's what I was talking about. Justin Shandor, Sean Clush. I mean, these are Elvis guys that actually did, as Katie mentioned, it's an international competition down in Graceland, and they have a thing called Three Faces of the King that tours around with those winners. It's incredible. But we got one guy over here. He did this whole Elvis thing. I've got this great show. His wife told us about it. I said I'd bring him in. So it was Elvis with a brutal Italian accent. Oh. And I'm like, are you serious? He was like, a hunka burning in love. It was you couldn't have faked it worse. And it's just amazing. But it's legit. He came on, and his pork chops here, I'm telling you, it was like the Shaft afro kind of shifted over. It was like this.
Oh my God. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
We just got the ugly. They weren't even good. It was just ugly, uglier, and just friggin', I think it's friggin' brutal was the title that we actually used. Cherie, back in the day, again, you guys are forming. I mean, you guys were huge. We all know about the Japan stuff, how the Runaways were talk about Elvis. You're bigger than Elvis, bigger than the Beatles, or like the Beatles in Japan. It was crazy. How did that affect you when that first big, again, you're 15, 16, 17. Uh-oh. Like, oh my gosh, street packed, and you can't drive. You can't even drive down the street. How did that affect you?
Well, we really didn't realize that we had become as big as we did until we landed in Japan. I mean, we knew we were getting, because we were always on the road. If we weren't on the road, then we were in the studio. So that we had taken no breaks whatsoever. And so it was a relief to know all that work was, worth it.
Well, I tell you, it was really something because I think it was likened to the arrival of the Beatles in the United States and your arrival to Japan, just complete craziness.
What year was that, Cherie?
That was 77.
77, yeah.
I went to Japan the first time in 1973 with Jeff Beck and Tim Bogan.
Wow.
And it was the same kind of thing, except we played the Budokan. They didn't even have lights. They had three 10,000-volt huge airplane landing lights, the kind that used to shoot up into the sky. They had six of those on the stage shooting in. But when we landed at the airport and we came out of the airport, we didn't know either. Like you guys didn't know. All of a sudden, they started attacking us. Mm-hmm. And I'm running for the car, and I'm feeling like hands going like...
Yes, pulling your hair out.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
And we got into the limo and said, what the hell was that? Because we had been over to Europe and everything else, and it didn't happen over there, only in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan. Yeah, and they had all the cops there when we got off the plane, and they were rushing us and breaking cameras, and I saw this hand come for Lita's long brown hair.
Oh, yeah.
And she grabbed it, and I grabbed her wrist, and right then someone grabbed my hair and just tore a bunch out. And at that time, it was, wow. Who took care of you then, Udo?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he took care of everybody.
Ew, so now someone has like your hair in a scrapbook, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. You're right there.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought Lita's hair was blonde.
No,
That was later.
not in the Runaways.
No,
She was so funny because Lita turned around. She goes, "I'm never. Can I say the F word?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get a fucking tattoo, and I'm never gonna dye my hair blonde." This is what she was screaming at me. It's like, next time I see her, she's got that huge dragon and spiked blonde hair.
You know, I told this before, but I went to a couple of years ago. I went to like a lunch in Valencia with Lita and Tim Bogert. Right now, Tim Bogert had gray hair. He looked like an old guy. He had no tattoos, white skin. And then this Lita had tattoos all over her and the blonde, and me with black and purple hair. And I think we're in like an IHOP or something, It was quite an experience to see the three of us together.
They had reservations, Ron.
Hey.
Had reservations.
Hey. But they went anyway. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Wait, what happened? What happened?
Nothing. It's just funny to see it.
The end. They ordered the
That's
Grand
all.
Slam.
Thanks
that's
for tuning
Denny's.
in, and good night.
That's Denny's.
Denny's.
Sorry, I got my pancake houses.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Denny's. Yeah, that's right.
All you could eat pancakes at
Vinny would
IHOP.
know that. Vinny would know
I'm the
that.
pancake king.
The Pan King.
Pancake.
Katie, what is on the horizon for Top 10 revealed? I mean, give us a couple of possible themes that could be coming up that we could be excited about.
So we have a lot of great ones coming this starting this Sunday on Access TV at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
I didn't hear that. When was it?
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Boom! Access TV. Check your local listings.
Yeah.
We have an episode that's the ode to the color black. So top 10 songs that have black in the titles. So think of Black Hole Sun is on there, but also Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
So what's great about the show is all I have to do is tell you the topic, and you'll chime in like Carmine.
Yeah.
And be like,
Right.
oh, I know what's on this. I know what's going to be number one. Is this
great
song
concept.
on the list? And so everyone gets involved. So Ode to the Color Black is really fun. We also have space songs. So think of Rocket Man, Major Tom to Ground Control.
Oh, yeah.
Love that song.
Intergalactic Planetary by the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
So space songs. And we go really way back and to current music. So, Fly Me to the Moon with Frank Sinatra. Does it deserve to be on this list?
Who picks the top 10?
Viewers like you, Carmine. So we actually post the question on the Access TV social media pages like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and we allow people to vote and write it in. And once again, it all goes through me, and I curate
the black
and
page,
figure out.
Frank
She's an
Zappa.
executive producer, excuse me, up and down.
And creator. Thank you very
Hey,
much.
hey Katie,
Thank you very much.
when is that on?
Sundays at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Access TV. The top
Yeah.
10 revealed. Part of Sunday Night Rocks.
Hey, ding. Speaking of space songs, Space Oddity, David
Yeah.
Bowie. Your inspiration, Miss Cherie Currie, was David Bowie.
Yes, absolutely. And Susie Quattro as well, but David was my main guy, sure. I didn't even
And
know.
even your look. Your look was more David Bowie than Susie Quattro.
Yeah, Joan was Susie Quattro. I was David Bowie. I mean, we were so young. I mean, we didn't know who we were. I mean, Joan was very insecure. So was I. But I mean, she would just pull her hair down so that no one could see her face, and so both of us didn't. We just didn't know who we were going to be on stage because we'd never been on stage before. So we just kind of pretended to be our heroes for a while until we kind of got the hang of it. And it worked. It was great.
And until you came into your own, and then, or let me just rephrase that, until you became the pioneer of the rock and roll corset.
Well, the corset was my idea. The girls didn't really like that very much, but I was...
Was it too feminine?
No, I don't think so. I think it was they just, the fact that I was on the cover alone, which was I disagreed with, but it was just happened to be the shot that Kim Fowley wanted. But I was at the Starwood, and we were doing a sound check, and there was this little boutique for right across the street that was for corsets, and that single white corset was in the window, and I could see it across the street, and I jaywalked. I mean, I don't even think I would notice the cars. I was so taken.
You didn't look before crossing.
No, I just saw that corset and I beelined for it, and I knew that wearing that for Cherry Bomb was going to really be a statement. The girls didn't like the idea, of course, but it was only for 3 minutes. A lot of people think that I wore that thing for the whole show, but it was just for Cherry Bomb.
And that's what they say. I mean, it's been said that corset, that shot, really, and obviously Cherry Bomb, your biggest hit, legendary song, but a lot of people have said that the corset part of that whole thing really added to the buzz of the song in the beginning, anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm 16 years old in a corset and fishnets on stage. It hadn't really been done yet. So I think, and Madonna, that stinker. She turns around and says she was the first, and I know she knows
Pioneer.
She wasn't.
Pioneer.
Right. I pioneered the corset. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I want to officially name you the pioneer of the rock and roll corset. And in your honor, I think next week, Vinny, you should don one because you're a pioneer in rock and roll. I've thought of you many a night in a corset. If I'm going to wear this, you wear the corset.
You're a sick man, Ron.
Yes, sir. I'm very, very sick.
All I have to say is,
hey! And another thing about Miss Curie, she's a twin, right? You've got
really?
Marie Curie, who I know you did. I think you did an album. It was about 1980. You did an album with her, and you didn't. But you haven't done anything with her since. Is there? I mean, is it something that you did for just one shot and done?
Well, my twin. Well, it's Currie, not Curie. It's Currie.
I know.
Like the spice. But but Marie was married to Steve Lukather. Guys know Steve.
oh, I didn't know that.
Sure. And Marie really thought that, it's one thing to think you want to be in a rock and roll band and be on stage. It's one thing to imagine that might be something you want. Mm-hmm. It's a different thing to actually do it. And she really believed she wanted to do it. And so we made a record. And before we even went on tour, she and Steve decided that they wanted to have babies, and Marie pulled out after the record had come out. Yeah, I was hating it, and that really they dropped me from the label. Well, we spent $250,000 on that record. It was
Those
really
were the days.
Back then.
Remember those days?
Yeah.
Well, it
Those
was
were the days.
Jay Winding and all of Toto playing on it. So it was basically a Toto record. But it's a great record. But not much you can do with a twin act when one twin doesn't want to do the touring. Yeah. So
well, it's really amazing. You start out.
Everybody thought me and Vinny were twins.
Why would you want to admit to that, Carmine? I mean, please.
I know. Yeah.
No. We were joined together, too. They had to operate.
Cherie, did that create a rift between you guys?
it did. Sure it did. Because there was no way back for me after that. That was basically the end of my music career. And that was too bad because I'd worked really hard for it. But, and anytime anyone asks my opinion, don't work with family and put everything in it because especially, it wasn't the right choice. And I knew it. I should have listened to my gut, but I didn't do that. That's the second, bit of advice I'd like to give is listen to your gut. If your gut says don't do it, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, the Runaways were only really together just a few short years, from
Right.
4 years or so, and really a tremendous impact, groundbreaking, again, pioneers in rock and roll, the first real rock and roll all female band that played your own instruments.
Yeah.
But and you guys, it's also legendary why you guys broke up. We all know that the challenges that rock and roll, the business, youth, crazy people being involved, all that stuff had to do. But had that not happened, Cherie, where do you think the band? I mean, look how far the band went just in those few years. Where do you think the band could have gone or could have accomplished?
Oh, well, I think had they just let us rest, even just give us a little bit of time off, and had someone to moderate our meetings. I mean, we didn't have anyone to sit us down if there was someone was having a problem with a band member. I mean, just nothing. We didn't have any help. No adults to come in and try to help us talk things out. Had they just given us a few breaks so that we could rest and get our energy back, I don't think I would have left.
Cherie, name all the members of the Runaways.
Well, the only members that I really bring up are the founding members, which is Lita, Joan, Jackie, and Sandy West, and myself. Yeah, Sandy.
I knew Sandy really well. I knew Sandy really well. She was so nice. You met her a bunch of times. We did a bunch of drumming events that she showed up at, and she was always wanting to learn something,
Yeah, she was fabulous.
Yeah, she passed away of something, right?
She did. Yeah, in 2006, she died of lung cancer. Horrible.
So
Katie,
nice.
was there ever a Runaways tribute that you saw worth anything?
I don't even remember ever getting a submission in general for one. We had a Joan Jett, but I never got a submission for a Runaways tribute.
I wonder if that's out there. Any chance? I mean, Cherie, you probably get this question. Any chance of any kind of some sort of reunion again, like you did in 2018?
Hey, Ron, are you thinking of starting a tribute band?
I'm thinking of starring in one. So
Runaways tribute band. You'd be great.
I think I'd be great.
Well, I've played with all the girls individually. I've played with all of them, with Lita, with Joan, of course, Sandy. I never did a show without her before she passed away. And so I'm the only one that's actually played with all the members. Lita and Joan have a little bit of an issue, and that just seems to be the problem. Yeah, Lita doesn't like Kenny, and so I wish they would get over it, honestly, but I don't think so. So that's too bad.
You've got a great relationship with Kenny Laguna. He even gave you a suggestion for a song on one of your albums, I believe.
Well, Kenny was my manager at that time. Yeah, we were very good friends for 20 years. But that, unfortunately, with the record, with them holding up Boulevards of Splendor for 10 years, that kind of eroded my friendship with him a bit.
It's too bad.
10 years is a long time. I know.
Yeah, it is.
Rightfully so, to be a little ticked.
But you're still a Black. Are you still a Blackheart?
No, I haven't been with them for 9 years now. No.
Wow. Well, listen, guys. It's the time is approaching us very shortly. We go till we do this for an hour, but so many times we have been asking questions that our customers, our people, our fans have been asking, and there's one specifically that comes from someone for Katie. Now, Katie, I started to touch on. I know.
Uh-oh.
I started. No. I started to touch on this a little bit earlier about you being if you were to be in one, and you talk about Fogerty, but if there was one that you could actually, forget about what you sound like, what you look like, but who you would do, who you'd love to be a part of, who you'd go out there. Would it be a Lady Gaga thing? Would it be something? What would be the most extraordinary one that you would love to? We all want to be somebody, whether we sound or look like them or not. Who would you like to be out there in the tribute world?
And it doesn't matter the gender?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't
break the rules, huh?
Listen, I gotta say, and this may be a really cheesy answer, but being in a Beatles tribute band, I think, would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
They did so much.
Oh,
They
yeah.
wrote
Yeah.
They were
so
the
many
ones-
songs.
Yeah.
The range of their music, you know, from bubblegum pop to just like really great dark stuff. Their individual careers. I think just the talent in that band to be remotely involved and within the room of someone of the Beatles' presence, I think would be fantastic. I think you know they're the heart of rock and roll.
That's a great answer. And Cherie, you've had such an amazing career and continue to do so. I mean, between the chainsaw art, between the Runaways, between all the other projects, including an accomplished actress, and you made it to Murder, She Wrote. I mean, what else you need?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's funny. I just lost my mom. It was a great
Oh.
thing. At 98, she died last
Oh,
week.
God.
Yeah, just
great.
a
God
month
love
and a
her.
half ago. But
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
she was 97, but she had Alzheimer's, and that was rough. So, but my mom was a fantastic actor, and she never shared any of that with us kids. So it wasn't until I'd left acting that all of a sudden I saw some of her movies, and if only I'd known that, that was coursing through my body, because my mom was an exceptional actor. So it's, I guess that's why I just love chainsaw carving so much, is I don't have to think of all the mistakes I've made in my life.
Well,
I can just take it out on the wood,
Yeah.
Well, on that scary
Yeah.
subject, on that scary note, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. This was a wonderful, wonderful show.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you
nice
for
getting to
having
know
me.
you. Katie, Daryl, God love you. All the stuff that and you know what? A toast to Mark Cuban for creating Access TV, because that is an amazing outlet. It's MTV on steroids. Love Access TV.
It
So
is.
all
You
the
can
best
watch.
to you.
I have weekly interviews every Thursday for At Home and Social. Everyone from someone like Cherie to, I think next week we're talking to the guys of The Offspring. So check out At Home and Social. On Fridays we do the Music High Five, which is our weekly music show, and then on Sundays is the Top 10 Revealed. So you have 3 opportunities to stalk me each week.
Wow.
Well,
Nice.
you give us no opportunity to go to any other channel, so I love it. I love it. All the best to you, and Miss Currie. What can we say? Legend,
Thanks, Ron.
icon. You're coming out again? Are you going to come out on the road doing some music?
Of course, I have to. I've got a tour on Boulevards of Splendor, and I'm looking forward to that. Yes, for sure.
Well, we want to see you right here in Chicago, along with all the other places around the country.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ron. Vinny.
Thank you, dear. Thank you all,
Carmine.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Katie.
Katie.
Thank
Katie,
you.
Cherie.
Nice to meet you.
Well, make sure
Thank you so
everybody,
much.
you are sharing, you are liking, you're checking our podcast on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. We're all over the place, but make sure you let everyone know about Artists on Lockdown, Hangin' and Bangin' each week here Thursday, right here with my brothers, Carmine and Vinny, Appice, Appice. I don't even know anymore. Have a great week. We'll see you next week on Artists on Lockdown, Hangin' and Bangin'.